Hey, hey,
Hey there.
how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Hamming in on your avatar. My very first avatar was a furry.
Do you remember who made it? Because
I,
that's the furry thing, is
ooh,
knowing who made your avatar.
ooh. So I don't remember who made the very first one, but I remember the next one that I got, and it was a Connie bunny. Do you remember those?
Yes, I do remember the Connie bunnies. I think I think I may have one still in my inventory.
Yep, it was the Connie bunny. It was the speckled one, and man, I
Yeah.
loved that bunny. So I actually came across you and like your breedables and everything through Twitter. And so I think maybe it was one of the Linden, Soft Linden, maybe I think shared something. I can't remember exactly, but I came across you through Twitter, and
Wow.
then I ended up seeing one of your posts that talks about like how you're approaching breedables in kind of like a different way, right? Like an
Yeah.
anti-laggy way, sort of.
Well, the I think the first thing is to know more about me.
Yeah,
I'm
definitely. Let's start from the beginning. So first, how long have you been in Second Life and how'd you get started?
so my avatar is about I want to say 15 years and
Wow.
a few months. Yeah, I'm up in the teens there, so I'm pretty old. I'm not old guard necessarily, but I've
You're
been
old
around.
school.
I've been around for more than a decade in Second Life. The Avatar Streaks Foxtrot was initially made because I was working for a club, and it was
Hmm.
a security. It was a more of a security avatar. Like I would hop in on this avatar, and I would go just kind of sit in a chair and listen to chat.
Hmm.
But it was never meant to be my full-time avatar. I had a different avatar that was my full-time avatar. And I was premium, and you probably heard this story 1,000 times. My credit card expired. And
No,
when I
I didn't.
called, oh, you've not heard this? I called Second Life and I said, hey, my credit card expired. I'd like to put in a new credit card. And they were like, verify your birthday. And I said my birthday and it wasn't right. But I have autism, so sometimes I type too fast and I type the numbers wrong. So I had to give up my first account because I couldn't verify it was me. And so now I decided to use this account. It was the second account I made, and I use this to be my primary avatar now. So this is me.
So you actually have
Um
somebody that's older. It's like this is
yeah,
the yeah, round
yeah.
two.
But like by a few months older.
Yeah,
Like this is they're very close.
right, right.
Um so yeah,
One of my
that's
Second Life mentors, when I first started, like, I made friends with her really early on. She was a furry too. Her name was Baxter Beaumont. And Baxter was,
that's
huh?
that's a familiar name.
Yep, she used to call herself the Figment. I miss her very badly. But anyway, so she when I first started, she was like, "Hey, okay, so from right now, make two other avatars and keep them just because you'll want them for later." And I was very grateful
That's
that I
true.
listened to her.
I have like Streaks is my first of two other avatars. So
Yep, yep.
I totally know that.
It's like the
Um
old furry trick, you know?
it is. It
Yep,
is. We always have another persona waiting in the wings.
exactly.
Um but
So,
I'm a real life furry as well as a Second Life furry. Like I have a fursuit and the whole 9 yards. I go to cons
oh, cool. Do you look
and
like
do
is
that.
your suit similar to the avatar you have now?
No, no, but I probably could get someone to do a mod for me. But I'm a graphic designer. I could probably, if I had the time, do it myself. But I haven't yet delved into that. I've been a little too busy lately.
Yeah,
Um,
sure.
we expanded like crazy, and I'm just super proud of my people. I'm super proud of everything.
So yeah, that's so how long I was trying to figure out how long you guys have you been around for a long time? It seemed like you were a pretty new
So
business.
so we did this. How's the best way to put this? We attempted to do this twice. And I say we, but it's mostly me. I'm a project manager. And
Hmm.
so I put a project together. I get with the people I need to get with to get it done.
Hmm.
And when we first got started, we were working with a furry scripter, and he's kind of asked me not to use his name. Most
Sure.
scripters
Yeah.
tend to bow out.
Yep.
And he and I had an idea. We built a framework. We released the original pet, which was the funny ferret,
Hmm.
in 2017,
Hmm.
and it released at Delirium Breedables, which is owned by Mumbles and Floozy Hubbard. And we released there, and we had a really good run. But we had problems with the code and we were having trouble sussing out some stuff. And then life got a little crazy. I had to get a full-time job.
Right.
And my full-time job was so stressful that I couldn't continue in Second Life with a broken product and work full-time and take care of my family. It wasn't going to happen.
Right.
So I bowed out. At the initial funny ferrets didn't eat the same as my current pets. They didn't eat, they didn't die, they didn't age. They don't get sick, they don't run away.
Right.
That was the big thing. I'm, like I said earlier in our interview, I'm autistic. So when I had Miru and they would get, and if I went to the hospital once, I had a whole herd of Miru, like 40 of them. And I ended up in the hospital for something like a gallbladder or a spleen problem. And I was in for 8 days. And when I got home and logged in, all my Miru had run away starved.
No.
And you have to pay to get them back.
Wow.
And I said, that's really crazy because I paid for them in the first place.
Right.
And I was super sad and I'm just going to hang on, I got to prop my door. I was super sad and I was super upset. And I'm like, I paid for this. Why is it gone? I invested in this and I feel like I got nothing out of my investment for something I couldn't help.
Right.
And so that's part of the reason I said that if I was going to build a breedable company, I would have some rules. And those rules were based on things I experienced as a breeder.
Right.
What was the other big one? Oh, I had stray cats for a little while. Nick and stray cats. That's a wonderful business. She's kind of cornered the market there on stray cats.
Yeah.
That's a wonderfully nuanced breedable. I want to say that. And I realized I had my stray cats and I was going to go live somewhere. And they were like, well, you have to turn off the animations and you have to turn off the sound and they have to be like little statues. And I said, why am I not breeding little statues?
Right.
The scripts, just because the pet doesn't move doesn't mean the scripts don't run.
Right.
I mean, I thought, man, and then I decided, I was like, how many scripts are in a stray cat? So I opened it and I looked at the animations and I counted. You can't look at the scripts or the animations, but you can count how many scripts there are and you can kind of see how they're labeled and what they do.
Yeah.
And then I went to an amaretto horse and I did the same thing. And I said, wow, there are 17 scripts in an amaretto horse. That's a lot.
Yeah.
And, of course I'd quit and I was working full time and then COVID happened.
Yep.
And COVID's when I kind of I lost my job. Like I think a lot of people did at the beginning of COVID when it got hard. And I sat down and I said, I'm just going to get back on Second Life. I need something to do to ease my mind. And I like doing textures and I like building. So I'm going to sit down and just make some cute things.
Yep.
And initially my avatar, I used to do legacy Zuby baby clothes, like the boxes. Okay. You do the note cards. I love doing texture work. I love doing graphic design. I'm a graphic designer by trade.
Yeah.
That's what I do. And I said, I'm just going to get back in. I can do some Zuby clothes, this, that, and the other. And then Zuby did away with their legacy babies, came out with Animesh babies. And I was trying to get into that, thinking I could do that. And Mumbles from Delirium goes, do your breedables again.
Yeah.
And I said, no. Last time was a nightmare and I was not prepared. And I'm not emotionally ready to do it again. And she goes, I'm going to get you someone who can help you. And I'm like, I just said no.
Just kidding.
Where's the consent? Where's the consent here? And she's like, no, you're going to work. Let me find somebody. So she said, I just want you to talk to him. And I said, okay. And I met with him. He was very nice. And I said, look, I'll just show you what the scripts are. I'm not even going to do this again. And he's like, he basically was saying, this is actually very creative how you were going about this. He goes, you need a lot of script work. He was far more experienced than my previous scripter.
Yep.
And he goes, and I said, yeah, but I can't afford to pay you right now. It's not on the dock. I can't pay anything. And he goes, what if we arrange a profit share?
And you were
we'll get this together.
Yeah.
We'll get this all together. We'll get this working. You release it and I'll take a percentage. And I said, okay. That means I don't have to have all the money up front.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. Because the ferrets already had the coats. I'd already uploaded them previous.
Right.
So I didn't have to upload anything to get started. We decided to do the ferret. And at that time I had a chicken as well called a bluegrass chicken.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, let's do it. And he goes, do you have potions for these? And I'm like, potions? What do you use potions for? And he's like, oh, let's try some stuff. So we came up with a passion potion that once they're old enough and they breed, if you want to breed them again, you can just give them a potion. They'll be ready to go one more time. They can breed as much as they want, as all they want. And a rejuvenation potion, which would, if they retired after a certain age, you could put them back to age 0 and they could breed again.
This is good. This makes them usable for long periods of time.
Yeah, they're in perpetuum. You can breed them in perpetuum. And so we fixed it. It was great. And then he came to me and said, I said, he's like, what do you want to do next? And I said, I want to do bunny rabbits, like jackalopes and scavators and bunny rabbits. And I want to do horses. And he said, well, we need a database if you're going to do horses. And I said, oh God, I don't, because my system never worked with a database. It never called outside of SecondLife. It all worked internally inside SecondLife. All the stuff was in the pets and it just went. And we sat and had a talk and my scripter was like, look, you can't expand that way. You can't introduce new coats. You can't do anything fun. And he goes, we need to expand. And he said, I promise you, if you just trust me, this will work. And that was last April.
Mm-hmm.
I think April of 2021 is when we released the database.
Mm-hmm.
And we put, which means we had to re-release ferrets, we had to re-release chickens, we released the bunny rabbit, the evolving rabbit, and then we released horses. And that was probably the best decision I ever made.
Really? So, okay,
yeah.
Segueing briefly, I'm actually working on a similar business that collects stamps, and I'm at that crossroads going like, do I do a database? Do I not do a database? So yours like changed the game for you.
It kind of did, because it allowed us to do those limited edition drops, put them in the system. They just show up. No one has to get updates. The updates happen on the backside and everybody can participate in those things.
Cool.
So it was a big, big thing that I was happy to do. But yeah, the database allows me to do counts. Because before people would say, oh, I have a Virgo. Is that, a Virgo bunny rabbit? Is that rare? And I'd be like, I have no idea.
I don't know. Is it? Yeah.
Everybody's hutch works differently.
Right.
But stray cats, if you go to Stray Cats and use their HUD and go to their website, you can see how many of each critter is on the grid, how many of each eye, how many of each thing. And most of the breedable companies will do that. They give you stats, percentage of on the grid or how many is on the grid.
And I guess that makes them more rare and worth more then too.
Yeah, if you know.
Yeah.
So we have web access for breeders. They can look at, and that went through a few iterations because we had to make sure we were keeping privacy intact. Like no one should be able to look up and see what pets you have. Only I should be able to do that as the creator. And so now we have HUDs where people can look up what pets they have. So if you lose a pet and you're like, I had 6 rabbits, now I only have 5. You can go in there and say, oh, here's my 6 rabbits names. These are the 5 I have. This one's missing. And then open a ticket with me and I can help you find your missing rabbit. That definitely helps people, because before, if they lost stuff, I didn't know what they'd lost. I had no idea.
Wow.
So from a customer service standpoint, having the database was like 1,000 times better.
Wow.
I'm trying to get some things here in case you want to talk like actual numbers.
I mean, I will go as far down that rabbit hole as you want to go, because I mean, this is my bread and butter. I love talking this stuff.
So it's just me and the scripter. And I have 2 customer service reps. And I have a Raven Callisto is my best friend, I gotta say, in SecondLife. She used to own 7 Deadly Prims. She's a mesh builder. And she and I met in Open Simulator. That's kind of that's where you found that article about me.
Mm-hmm.
And I had breedable pets on a database in OpenSim.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there was a lot of drama about OpenSim and the grid shut down,
Mm-hmm.
but Raven was kind of heartbroken about the whole situation. So I gave her a job. I said, look, you know,
Come
you
over
guys
here.
had sheep.
Yeah.
Well, they had sheep in Open Simulator, and everybody in SL wanted sheep. And I said, look, I'll bring the Shetland sheep over. I'll give you 50% of the cut, but I need you to design the coats because I'm swamped right now.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's like, I'll do it. And so she would design coats on the weekends. I would pop them in when I had a chance into the database. I pay her. I make very little on sheep because I pay my customer service
Mm-hmm.
reps. That's the other thing. I pay my customer service rep. I don't know a lot of companies who do. I know a lot of people have volunteer work for free. We don't do that here. Not in my house.
Yeah.
You work for me, you get paid.
Yeah.
You do me a service, I do you a solid. Like that's how that works.
Yeah.
And so Raven is like above a customer service rep, but she's not me. So she's definitely my partner in crime. And but she's gonna be learning the ropes and she's gonna be kind of helping me out more.
Cool.
So there's I would say there's 5 employees.
Wow.
5 of us. There's 5 of us. It's a team of 5. 2 customer service reps, the scripter, who I'm going to keep nameless, and then Raven and myself. With Raven and myself being more at the top of the business side of it.
I love how scripters do that. They keep themselves nameless. Like, I think there's like 2 types of scripters. They're the ones that are like, yeah, put my name on it. And then there's the ones that are like, no, don't tell anybody I did it, you know?
See, I don't want to get him overwhelmed with like
requests.
Make me a breedable. Yeah.
Yeah.
But not that he can't do that. Like I'm not holding him hostage. I didn't ask before the interview if I could name drop him, and I don't want to rob him of his autonomy by name dropping.
Yep.
So
that makes sense.
And that's, that's only fair. I wouldn't want someone to go into an interview without asking me and name drop me. Like Raven, I'm dropping because she don't care.
Right.
She don't care. She's like, just drop my name. But every night at 9 p.m. Eastern, which is coming up, I go through the database. I get counts, how many of each critter have been born on the grid, the total body count on the grid, or the most recent number will tell you how many we've got because it's my ID numbers for pets just count up. So if pet number 1 is pet number 1, the next pet born is pet number 2, pet number 3, pet number 4, and it kind of climbs.
So what are you at now? What's like the last one that you did yesterday?
Let me pull up something here. Let me pull up Discord so I can get that data for you.
There's a lot of people that use Discord to feed data in there.
Yeah.
I've been learning that I guess their API is good where you can just put stuff in there.
I put the body count on Twitter and then hashtag SecondLife, and then it posts to the Discord. So as of last night we had 340 total breeders. Today we have 341. So we gained 1 person today.
Cool.
Yesterday we gained 6 people.
Cool.
So that kind of fluctuates. That's not like a constant number.
Yeah.
And then let me go to all access, and I have access to things people don't. Right. So the current top number yesterday, the total number, total database yesterday was 27,404.
Wow.
And we're at 27,609 right now. So we added 400 pets, little more than 400 pets overnight.
Wow. So you must have diehard fans. Like you have a group.
I have
fans.
some.
Yep. And then you have people that
some.
are and then you just recruited more along your way.
Yeah. And I think that all changed this January. Last year, I think a little bit of that happened in September. And I think more of that happened in January. I think September, people were like, what's going on here? And then in January, they were like, okay, I see what's going on here.
Yeah.
So going back to September, we were invited by, I don't even know her name, Ever Cordis. She does Spoonfuls of Sugar event. And we were asked to come and be a breedable in Spoonfuls of Sugar. And of course, breedables have to like pay for a corner. The names that I knew were there were DFS was there, Stray Cats was there, and I was there. Whoa. I don't know if any other big breedable company was there, but I was like back in a back corner, and I released butterflies. And I had people saying, why are you doing butterflies? There are other butterflies out there. Papillon has butterflies. Declan has butterflies. And I said, yes, but these butterflies fly. They don't just flap. They fly.
Yeah.
They get up, they sparkle. They like burst sparkle particles. Then they fly around and then they land back down. And I was like, there's 6 species in there. You know, there's a common, a monarch, a morpho, a moth, a luna moth, and a swallowtail. And actually we're getting ready to put dragonflies in there because we're going to use one of the butterfly models and put a texture on it that looks like a dragonfly.
Yeah.
So we're going to actually put some dragonflies in. And someone's like, okay. And we sold a lot of starter kits.
Oh, I'm
but
sure.
all the proceeds for that went to Spoonfuls of Sugar. So we donated like 34,000, Lyndon, to Spoonfuls of Sugar that day.
Holy moly, 34,000?
Yeah, that's a lot to donate to charity, but it was for Doctors Without Borders. COVID was a big thing. I really wanted to put the theme was Mexico. So all the names are like Maria and Santiago for the pets, because we assign a random name every time a pet is born. You can always rename it. But we released butterflies there because I thought, when I think of Mexico, what I think of color. I think of things that are elegant. I think of things that are pretty. I think butterflies really fit that sort of elegance and that beauty and the colors, the bright colors that I feel when I think about South America and Mexico and all of that. So that very, very Colombian feel. And so we released that, and Butters became quickly. That was in September, and Butters have 3,558 pets on the grid.
Wow.
That's a lot since September.
Yeah.
And when you look at Rooks, which are my dragons, which were released on January 15th, they have 3,129.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, I bet your dragons
in less than
are
like 3
killing
weeks.
it. Yeah.
In less than 3 weeks. And we spent all morning, like while my daughter was at school, Raven and I were working on our a new coat release for Rooks, which are chess pieces. Because it's called a rook.
Right.
Dragons. And a lot of people don't get it. They were like, why is it called a rook? That's a crow. And I'm like, yeah, but dragons are born in a rookery.
Yep.
And these look like baby dragons. They don't look like giant mythical creature. Like Amaretto's mythical creatures are big, like beastly dragons, like big boys.
Right.
And these are too cute. They don't look like that.
They're so cute.
They are. I'm pretty impressed with them.